just to...
Yeah. It's always good to do from both sides anyways, and then we can...
Yes, I want to actually check for future reference as well that I don't miss the recording, because I'm new to this, the full version of Zoom, so I never used the full version before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's getting, even I'm still, there's always something to learn within it. I try and keep it simple because it can get a little, like, there's a lots of, like, with the new AI and things like that, you can, especially like a group coaching, and there's things you can do, but yeah, I'm just keeping it simple for now because there's so much to do. I think one thing at a time. And
Yes.
it's the same. I've just got a new camera. I'm thinking it looks better quality now. The camera,
it's very good.
yeah, I thought from the last, it depends on the time of the day of the quality. And I mean, I've got some studio lights, but I can't set my partner, he sets it all up for me, but he hasn't been here. And I just, like, I noticed the quality wasn't that good. When he's here, it's amazing. So I just said, okay, so if you're not here and I can't get the lighting right, at least if I can get a better lens. So I've got a really good lens added onto the computer, an extra extension. So yeah, it looks better, better quality.
Yes.
Yeah,
do you put it on top? Do you put it on top of your laptop? Is it a camera that you fit onto your laptop? Maybe I must look into that as well.
Yeah, I'll send you it.
Sorry for...
bought me it, but he's more the technical guy. He buys me what I need. He's really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and he can do stuff with, so I've bought like a green, well, I had a green screen and then I didn't utilize it, but we've bought like a backdrop, a new black, like a wallpaper, like a brick wall. So I'm going to utilize that. And instead of having like things in, he's going to have a look at some things I can put in naturally. So it doesn't, I don't know how he's going to do it, but maybe he does something, because I've looked at the past, when the green screen, it didn't look so good. So I said, well, let's try this time and have a look at experiment. It's all about experimenting. But your backdrop, your shelf is really nice, and that plan, your aesthetics, it's really beautiful. I like your background.
Thank you. I'm trying. I'm like quickly cleaned up because my daughter uses this table, and I'm like, she's now gone to Zanzibar for a week. So she left all the stuff because she's from our first marriage. So we share her, in dual custody. So it's like she's 12 now. So she just went for 10 days to Zanzibar. You know, where Zanzibar, it's an island.
Yeah.
In Africa. So.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry. I'm giving you lots of info.
I wanna ask more of, like, because people are really interested in your lifestyle. So yeah, I'll start off. So just first, before, just to give you a bit of background, so I can introduce you with a bit of knowledge. Just to clarify, you're fully raw vegan, but only recently, wasn't it? It was only in this last year. How long?
Yes, it's more than a year. It was last year, October, when I went fully raw.
Oh, you was breaking up then. So how long?
More than a year.
Oh, it's breaking
last
up.
year, is it?
Oh dear. Are you there?
I'm on. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you went like a dialect. It was breaking.
Sorry. It's last year, October, I went fully raw.
Last October, no? So just over a year. Okay, so I'll introduce, then you could just share your story, because I want to get to know you, and I may as well get to know you by sharing it with the audience. So let's start. Are you okay? Ready?
Yes.
Welcome back to the channel, Rawlicious You. I've got the incredible Judith, who recently interviewed myself, and I get the opportunity now to interview Judith. And she's been raw vegan for over a year, last October. So, not someone very new, still learning, but you've got a lot of experience, a lot to share. And I'd like to know, I'm more curious, your past, what led you to this point. So how I structure my interviews generally is I like to look in the past, like right here where you're at now, and then where you're going in the future with this lifestyle, and just anything that can help others where you feel will benefit those that are new to this lifestyle or already on and maybe have a few challenges. So Judith, could you share a little bit about you, your backstory, and what led you to this lifestyle, raw vegan?
Yes, thank you so much, Toni. It's lovely to to be on your channel. And I am Judith. I come from Hungary originally. I was born there, and I moved to South Africa when I was 16 in 1995. And at the moment, I'm 44 years old, and I've been living in South Africa now for 28 years, which is, I consider this my home, but I also love Hungary as well. And I have a family, a husband, and a daughter who's 12-year-old, and none of them are even vegans. So it's quite challenging at the beginning, that they still want to eat their food. And how I view it is I cannot force my beliefs on them. So I usually just make, I try to get them to taste my food, just to introduce them to it if they want to taste it. Or my daughter sometimes has my salad with the dressing. And from my side, that's more of a loving thing to do rather than enforcing your children or your husband to not eat what they want. They have to choose it for themselves. That's how I see it. And we actually all went vegan once in 2019, all of us, and that went really well. But then what happened is I was on and off since then, vegan, vegetarian. But my daughter and my husband went back to eating normal, meat and the standard diet. And I actually, what happened to me is that when my daughter was born, afterwards I got very bad eczema on my skin. That's how my whole journey started. I also went to do more of a self-discovery. Why am I getting this illness? Trying to look into the emotional aspect of it, the food as well. And it started on my hands because, I had to change a lot of nappies, and then you wash your hand all the time. And in my family, from my grandma's side, genetically, we have a bit of a predisposition to eczema. So my great grandma also had eczema. My grandmother had eczema, and so on. So it's more of genetic predisposition. I didn't have it for many years. I didn't have a problem, but because of the birth helped, it's not helped, but made it more possible to, it lowers your immune system, and it started to show up. And like I said, I kept washing my hands with things that I shouldn't be washing my hands with. And then my body just didn't like it. And the doctors gave me some topical steroids. Then obviously with the topical steroids, it spread all over my body. And it was just made me so sick, actually. And I just had enough. When my daughter was about 2 years old, I decided, because my eczema was all over my body, it was a horrible feeling. It was like 1,000 ants crawling on me, the itchiness. I don't know if you ever had any eczema, but it's horrible. Anybody that has it knows. People don't understand. It's like psychological as well. It's like affects you psychologically, because it's like the whole time you feel this buzzing feeling on you, like this, like I said, the ants crawling on you, maybe all that feeling, or the flies, when the flies sit on you. I know it sounds a bit visual, but I'm trying to explain for the viewers as well. Yes, and because of the topical steroids, I went into this, my whole skin got addicted to the steroids. It's very bad for you, actually, because now the doctors, what happens is they prescribe steroids, even the internal ones and also the topical ones, so quickly. Even for a flu, they would prescribe 3-day steroids. And it's actually quite dangerous, because it can really turn your body whole upside down. And it really caused me very bad symptoms. And I decided I'm going to just go off of it. I'm not going to use them, because I realized it's actually making my skin worse. Then all my hair fell out, my eyebrows fell out. I was like almost dying. I was like swollen up from, going off the medicine. Obviously, I didn't immediately go off of it. I just tapered it off. And like they say, but because the topical steroids also affect you very badly, people don't realize, when you stop putting that on your skin. And then obviously I started already eating a lot of organic foods. I was researching everything, when you're sick, you're researching everything, what's going on. And that was probably about in 2000. My daughter was born in 2011, but probably 2012, 2013, probably around that 2013. And that was very bad for a couple of months. I actually had to lie in bed. I couldn't get out of bed for 3 months because I was in so much pain, and my skin was shedding. It was really a horrible experience. And then I started eating very healthy organic vegetables. I ordered for myself from a farm close by. And I was still eating meat and all of that. And over the years, it continued obviously until 2 years ago, when on and off I could kind of manage my eczema. My body wasn't 100% healthy, but I knew I didn't eat wheat. I didn't, try not to eat too much preservatives, in the foods, because that also affects me. And then every time you get a bit of a rash, you're trying to figure out what is going on. What did I eat, And then what happened is I was, my higher self was kept on telling me, I must eat more raw. I must eat more raw. And then we went with a friend to a restaurant that actually had these green juices. And she had a green juice. And I'm like, I want to taste this now. Everybody's drinking green, not everybody, but like a lot of people drinking green juice. So I tasted the green juice and it tasted so amazing. I'm like, I'm not going to pay so much for these green juices. I want to keep on drinking it. I'm going to buy a juicer. So I got a cheap juicer, the centrifugal one at home. And it came with this juicing book. I lose weight in 7 days. Obviously, I still had a bit of excess weight, and I was thinking, I've always struggled trying to lose weight. We were trying to run with my husband in the mornings and, do a lot of cardio, trying to, you think the cardio will help you, to lose weight. And I said to myself, I'm going to start juicing and see, if that's going to help me lose weight. And then I bought juice ingredients for the juices for a couple of days, and it's like I ended up buying these huge boxes of fruit and vegetable. People don't understand, how people look at you at the shops in a way when you're buying these bulk boxes full of like melons and, celery. What are you doing? They think probably that you're catering for 30 people, yeah. So and then I juiced for 3 days. It was actually so tough because in the book, it doesn't say that you can drink as much juice as you want. They would say, okay, drink like 3 liters, or 2-3 liters, as much as it kind of prescribes juice this one. So I started juicing that. I immediately started getting very bad detox symptoms, but my intuition and my awareness was like heightened. It was just so amazing. I couldn't believe it, my dreams and everything, even after the 3-day juice. And then after 3 days, we had the electricity cut out in our neighborhood. And then I had to stop my juicing after 3 days. But then I realized, there's something to it because I immediately had to go to the bathroom more. My bowels started moving. And after that 3-day juice, I lost like 3 kilograms. It was like crazy. So I'm thinking there's something to it, it's like there must be something to it. So I really kept on researching it a bit more, and I found Fully Raw Christina and Mimikirk and Dr. Morse, on the internet. It came into my feed, and I was thinking, you know what? And since then, I kept on hearing I must eat more raw, because I started eating a lot of like salads in the evenings, but I would just use a normal salad dressing. It wasn't raw salad dressing. And I'm thinking, okay, well, let's see what Fully Raw Christina on her app, because she has an app that's got certain recipes for free. Let me make, some raw recipes. So I started eating like juices until I would have 2 juices until lunchtime. Then I would have a big salad, but I would still have some cooked food. Obviously, I was already, I didn't eat meat now at that stage for a year already. So I wasn't, for me, the meat wasn't a big problem. And then yes, and then what happened is that I started getting even more detoxing. Then I was thinking, what's going on? Because the juice kept on obviously getting rid of all the toxins in my body. And I'm thinking, I'm eating so healthy and I'm getting all this detoxing, and eventually after a couple of months, I just gave in. I'm like, I had enough now. I'm going to go full raw. I'm gonna try now to see really what's this all about. You know, I didn't have anything to lose because I still had some rashes that came out sometimes, and you know, it was from the detoxing, because obviously when you're not fully raw and you start having juices, then your body detoxes, but it's not, you're extending the detox in a way, you know. So I went fully raw in October last year, and for the first 2 months, nothing.
A little bit, Judith. Sorry, because so when you did the juicing, did you just do juice only for how long?
No. What I did that 3-day juice. That was just juice, a green juice, and you know, whatever was prescribed in the juices. It's just normal juices like anybody drinks. You know, lettuce, carrots, some fruit in it, some ginger, mint, and all of the normal ingredients. And then what happened is that when I decided, you know, when I ate more raw, then I just had juices in the morning, then I had a salad, then I still had cooked food, almost like high raw, you know? Yes.
Yeah.
And then now when I went fully raw, I didn't do, you know, I know that you're an advocate to do the juice cleanse, you know, at the beginning. But because I just felt like I wasn't strong enough to do the full juice cleanse. You know, sometimes you have to be right in the.
Yeah, you do. There's a time. There is a timing, a divine time, and I encourage it, depending on how, you know, the habits of others. It all depends on the client. It really does depend. And I certainly wasn't ready, and that's why I was high raw for many years, not fully raw. But I did, when I did the high, like you, high raw, and then I did do the juice cleanse. I didn't go fully raw until after, but I was very much nearly there to raw.
Yes, of course. And I agree with you. And now what I'm doing since I went fully raw is that I have a juice in the morning, always a green juice. I always start my day with a green juice because I just miss it when I don't have it. You know, it's like almost like becomes part of your day, you know, like a daily habit because you feel so good. But I haven't done any big juice cleanses or days of juicing since then. So when I went fully raw, that was last year, October, I just had green juice in the morning, or I always mix it with either pineapple or apple, you know, the green leaves, or I would have carrots, pineapple, and then ginger. It depends also what's in season. You know, if it's citrus fruits, then I would have citrus fruits. I check what's the cheapest because you also want to look at your budgets. And then the first 2 months when I went fully raw, nothing changed. I still had some, my skin wasn't that good, and I was thinking, what's going on? I'm gonna just stick it out. And after 2 months, it just started, you know, healing, and my hand healed. That was the first thing, because that was the worst. And then my whole body started clearing up. And you know, the after 6 months, I've seen a huge improvement. After 6 months, I would say it was amazing. Like even my back pain, I had a bit of lower back pain. You know, every time I do something in a certain way, it would have a problem, you know, and that went away. Just like I didn't even realize it went away. And then one day I realized, oh, I don't have that anymore, you know. And I would say it took me about 10 months to feel like my skin is, you know, almost 100% healed, you know. It's like my skin feels normal, you know, like the feeling of my skin. It's like, it feels like when I was 25, you know, and it took me about 10 months, I would say, you know, and obviously there's some things in my body that's still, I think, healing. It might take longer, like certain things, you know, like for example, my eyesight, like a lot of people, their eyesight gets much better. My eyesight is still the same, for example. But there's like, my biggest thing is my skin. Like, you know, sometimes you don't realize during the day, oh, I feel like, you know, at the beginning when I didn't have any more pain anymore because of my skin, it's almost like you miss it. You're like expecting, waiting for that symptom to come. And I didn't. It didn't happen. And I started doing also yoga again. I could do much more. I was much more flexible. You know, I'm much more stronger. Obviously, I lost like 10 kilos in the first couple of months when I went fully raw, no problem. I didn't even exercise the first couple of months because I was feeling sick from the detox. You know, I was having the flu symptoms, tired, and your body just gets rid of it, you know, and it regulates itself.
Incredible.
Yes.
Wow, what a story.
Yeah.
And how inspiring. You know, you hear of it all the time about the healing, and the skin is the biggest organ of the body, and it's the big, you know, if luckily I've not really ever had skin issues, but for many they do. You know, if it's itchy, rashes, or easily sunburn or eczema. And can you share like a bit more on, because I've got a few clients as well and some friends that really struggle with eczema, and they're really conscious of, like, it's really affecting their self-esteem, and it's to the point where they just cover up all the time. They don't feel good. It's affecting relationships. I've got a client that's single, and she just doesn't feel like, when she's itching, she just doesn't feel, she was saying it's not clean. It's really messing with her mental health, and I see others really struggle, and when you haven't gone through it yourself, like myself, I have my other challenges that I had, but for you, did that affect mentally for you then? Did you
Yeah. Yes, sorry. I just wanted to mention, I totally understand your clients, because it's very it almost feels like, it does feel like you're not clean, you know, when you feel, or you have an oozing skin, and then you feel like everybody's looking at that, but nobody actually seen it, but you make it into this big thing because you think everybody is feeling what you're feeling. Or what happens with, when you've got eczema, you're very irritated because of the skin. So you feel irritated, like, most of the time. You don't always have this calmness about you, especially if you're going through the itchy stage or the oozing stage. You know, it's like, it's very irritated inside because of the pain and moving around, and just to shower, and that area where it's sore, oozing, you kind of you're scared to even shower because now the soap's gonna touch it. And then it's like, almost like, you know, in the kitchen, I had to use gloves for years and years. I always use the glove to even cut just a lemon, just to squeeze a lemon. You cannot get, I mean, have you ever had a sore and then something went on it, like lemon? And imagine that you've got 100 cuts on your hands like that, or part of your body, and something like that goes on it, how sore that is. And it's definitely, there's a mental aspect to it, definitely. And for me, it's that like I said, that the 1,000 ants crawling on you, and sometimes one poor fly would fly on me, and I would just lose it, because then, you know, it's just that one fly would make you feel even 10 times worse. You know, it sounds crazy, but you know, it's not nice.
It's obviously you got the irritation as well, like you're saying, and it's and it's sore, and it's just uncomfortable. Yeah, you know, it's and having to have that every day to contend with, it's something that sadly many go to the steroids, and you even said you went on to the steroids, which makes it worse, and affects so many other, has so many consequences. So I find that when my clients, as soon as they go on the juice cleanse, it heals so fast. It almost is. And that's, for me, just to get them to see the proof quickly, because I know it takes time, like you, 10 months but you start to see changes quite quickly, but probably not quick enough at times, depending on the severity of it. But the juice cleanses, I see quite within the first few weeks, and that's what gets them excited. So the biggest transformation for many people with the eczema. So I'm glad you're able to share your story, and that you're healing it, you've healed it, and with raw foods. And I hope for those that they commit to it, because when you commit to this and push through like you did, and heal it, life transforming.
Yes, exactly. When you have a serious illness, I would consider my illness quite serious, because it's most of the time I didn't have eczema all over my body, but I would have like these bouts of eczema. Like, we would move into this new place, then I would get like full on eczema all over my body from the dust, and the building dust, and the moving and the stress and everything. So it would affect you, and it's a really serious. You don't know when you're gonna get the next bout, next cycle. And can you hear me? Sorry. Are you there? Hello? Hello? Hello. Sorry.
I lost
I
you.
think
It wasn't my connection. I think it cut out. But I got to the point where you said it wasn't just because it wasn't all the time, but you was experiencing. What else was you experiencing?
what happens is, let's say, dust would affect me. So we would move into this new place, and then I would get a full-on cycle of eczema all over my body, So it's not just at a certain location, it would go all over. So it also has what I wanted to explain. Not everybody has it as badly as I do. But what happened is when I started going into full raw eating and having the juices and eating a lot of fruit, then the more, for example, I realized at the beginning when I was still healing that if I would eat melons and grapes, sorry, not melons, grapes and blackberries, it would get like the detox would accelerate. So it would get a bit worse for me. So what I did is that's why it took so long to heal, because I kind of slowed it down. Then I realized, okay, I'm getting the detox symptoms are just a bit too much. Then I would slow it down by eating a bigger amount of salad or nuts or seeds, in my salad dressing. Then, for example, now at the end of my journey, where before 10 months, let's say from 6 months to 10 months, I would increase my berries and I would increase my grapes, for example, because I felt that my body was telling me I must eat more grapes or berries because that's for the lymphatic system. It looks like almost like the lymph nodes. So immediately you connect it. And the healthier you are, the more you can eat those grapes, those kind of fruits, the grapes and the berries and the very high energy fruits, And now, after more than a year, I'm actually eating a lot more fruits than salads. I still have my salads, but I'm craving, like, I can eat as much as I want and it won't affect me because then I know that I'm healed, because then you can almost like test yourself with the grapes and the berries if there's any still toxins, like very high frequency fruit is berries and strawberries and then grapes and all those kind of. And what I find now, what's really good for my skin as well, is I eat a lot of watermelons because they're in season.
Yeah.
Watermelons and everything. Yeah.
I'm glad you've touched on that with the intensity of these fruits. There's some that are experiencing heavy detox. If you want to slow it down, because we sometimes go into that all or nothing thinking, and they'll stop it and eat some cooked, and it'll take away all the detox. So I go into that panic, and I get it. I've been there myself. And instead now, if we've got this awareness, knowing, okay, I can slow it down. So even like carrots. So if anyone's on the juice cleanse, for instance, I suggest the carrot juice, or not as astringent as these fruits, like your berries, like your grapes. They're very astringent. And that is a good point, what you said. Like, if you're struggling, even on the raw, if you're having a lot of fruit and the detox is coming in, either push through it, experiencing that, or just take it easier. There has been periods in my journey. I'm glad you brought this up because I witnessed that, but I haven't shared it so much about that importance of, some fruits are very pulling and can increase the detox. So we can slow it down by other ways, like you say, like with the salads, or if you're doing a juice, do the carrots. Bring in even heavier fats, or even avocados, if you just want to be on the fruits. So there are ways that we don't need to go to, the old ways of eating. So I'm glad you figured that out and listen to your body. That's what I noticed with you. You seem to be very raw veganism does encourage that, but I noticed you were saying like before you just felt inclined to eat more raw, and that come instinctively. See, that didn't come instinctively for me, I would say. I was so like detached. It was until I met other souls, but then you seeked out. I just interviewed Fahad recently, and he was saying he just got downloads to eat fruit and became fruitarian. Didn't even know it even existed, the lifestyle, and he started searching. He was saying he was like, I felt like he was the only one, and then he reaches out on social media. He's like, there's thousands. He was like, oh, I'm not the only one, and it's comforting. But he also was like, oh, I thought this was like kind of like a new thing, and but for you, yeah, you got that intuition then. So you do you like do any practices to tap into it? Because that's one thing I really encourage on this lifestyle, to reconnect, and raw foods help us do that. But I was doing meditation before the raw foods, and it really helped me start to be more present with what I'm eating, what foods I'm choosing. How did that come out for you with the intuitive eating? Because that's I teach, because it's sight, sensing, it's knowing when we're full. That's what we've lost sadly in society, is know when we're full and when we're actually hungry. We've lost that. There's so many we get triggered. It's so, and the anticipation for food is constant in this world right now. And how did you reconnect to that?
Yes, I was always very intuitive. When I got sick the first time in 2012 or 2013, I started my journey to looking more into the metaphysical, teachings, and I just can't get enough of it, because it's just resonates with me all the time. So that's really one of my passions, to learn more about how this universe works, how this reality works. So I think that my higher self was thinking, this is a good way to bring it in. At the beginning, I didn't get that download that I must be fully raw, in 2013 or 14, because I think it wasn't in my reality, because there's no one that I knew was fully raw. Even now, I don't have anybody around me who's eating raw. There's nobody that I know. And I think it was more about eating a lot of organic veggies. Maybe my higher self was trying to suggest that. And then I think it eventually, when it became more acceptable in social media, there's a lot of people posting, maybe some might came into my reality more, that it is a way of eating. And then now, if I think back, according to me, you cannot really, everything is linked, like the raw eating, especially fully raw. It will link to your automatically into your consciousness. It's almost like it's on the same level. Like if you eat cooked food, it will bring down your vibration. So meditation, I used to meditate all the time after work. An hour, I would just sit and meditate. That was years ago. Like I said, during my since 2013. I do yoga. Yoga for me is also very connecting. It's connect my body. So it helps me to ground myself and to connect with my body. And it's almost like sort of a way of meditation for me. So I don't need to now lately meditate for hours and hours. For me, it's very quick. I can really connect much quicker to things. And also taking a walk around the dam that's in our estate where we live, just connect with nature. I immediately can feel, the energy, I raise my frequency, then I can have better downloads, better connections. But with the raw food, it's just my intuition became 10 times better, because what was really, I never experienced that before, but now I can feel people's intention. So it can be also scary, because when people have negative things about you that they're thinking or feeling, then I also feel that. And I have to realize, what, that's just their way of viewing their reality. It's like a negative belief system. So I mustn't blame them now they're thinking negative things about me. And if you don't buy into that in your own reality, it's not going to be in your reality. So if you're just bringing your neutral energy to it, you're not going to bring it into your reality as a negative thing. That's how I see it.
That's one pattern I've really noticed in this lifestyle of the connection, the links together. You know, some have come from like the spiritual aspect, and then automatically it makes sense to go on the lighter foods, the light codes, and some of the opposite. And I've interviewed those as well. I would say I came from, I got the downloads, but it's just a natural progression. And now I struggle to connect or take advice from those that aren't raw vegan and teaching spiritual concepts now. So I feel there's not that many, because I'm compassionate and understanding that's their journey, and there's other ways. I've shared a few videos on this topic, but for us to really expand, and especially this shift that's happening now, I feel so called to be lighter, to move through this journey with much more presence. And the only way I can do that with this presence and full consciousness is to really feel everything. If we're using food, because when we're aware of what food does to ourselves, to our body, to our mental health, it distracts us, it numbs us, it sedates us. Even cooked food, when we look at the frequency, and when we're passionate, you and I, about quantum physics, you know, this reality, I can't expand if I'm eating heavy foods. It was just a calling. These are the strong downloads I'm getting. There was no way I could keep sabotaging what I was doing. I had to go with the more of the fruits. It was, like you, less meditation, more just being present. When I'm eating, I'm in meditation. When I'm going for walks, everything's much more present, mindful. It's a beautiful way to live. It really encourages that. It nurtures and it links. So I've noticed a pattern with everyone that's in the raw lifestyle. They go towards that. The spirituality just heightens, the connection just heightens, and we have so much more love and compassion for ourselves and for others. So that's what's really, this year's really, I would say it's been a bigger transformation on my own self-love. Like that has really amplified. And as that for you as well, just within your own choices that you make, you know, like it, for me, when I was binge eating, when I was comfy, and that was my challenge that I had to work through to escape. For me, my thoughts were too much, and the only way I felt at the time was to escape those thoughts by eating. I've really started to listen to what my needs are. My needs are met, and just more self-compassion. Have you, because with the eczema, with that, you've gone through the frustration, the hair, you know, the not just the pain, but some of my clients, the shame they have around it as well, or the feeling they don't belong. You know, I have a client who's just really in the lowest, at the point of desperation and wanting to be able to be confident and share her message of what she wants to do with the world. Do you feel like there's a lot of love for you?
Yes, of course. So what happened is that I used to, for me, also foods I used to love, especially for me, the meat wasn't a big thing. So when I became a vegan the first time, it was more like, you know, I went through a bit of a detox from the meat, which was really interesting, because of obviously all the parasites in your body, you know, to get rid of all the rubbish in your colon. And then I love potatoes. Like for me, any potato dish, it doesn't have to be chips, okay? It can be roast potatoes, or like my family can attest to that. So that was for me the big thing. Like that was my comfort food. I will just make like roast potatoes or anything. I'm not such a sweet person. So for me, it's more the savory dishes. And for me, that was a big thing. And I would have like a drink every day. Like I would have either a glass of wine, but then the wine was giving me rashes. So I eventually started drinking a little bit of whiskey every day. Okay, that didn't affect me so much, but it did a bit. That was obviously before I went fully raw vegan. And then what happened is that helped me to numb the day. Like you were saying, you would eat your foods that you like, and then that would numb you and you would feel more accepted into the world. And then what happened is when I became fully raw, I gave up alcohol and I don't drink coffee, and I can't eat potatoes anymore because I can't eat those white potatoes uncooked. Okay. So, so now everything just came rushing in. So it's not just about the physical detox. I think when you go fully raw, there's an emotional detox as well. And it's almost like I became naked to myself inside. And I didn't like what I seen. Like it showed me all my negative belief systems about myself. Like, why do I need those things to? Because I couldn't see myself clearly and beautifully. I could only see myself, like you said, that shame, or it shows me something about myself I didn't like, but I couldn't numb it with alcohol or with cooked foods anymore. So you have to deal with it. So everything gets brought to the surface for you to deal with. And this helps you to move forward in your life. So if you look at that negative belief that I was believing about myself, that, like I wasn't having enough self-love towards myself, then I decided, you know what? I have to let go of this because I want to move forward in life. I don't want to be stuck. And I started building up myself, and I actually have a lot more love towards myself. I used to struggle with social anxiety like you did, like I think you mentioned last time we talked. I also had that. I could never speak in a crowd. I would freak out inside. I couldn't breathe. You know, and I decided, you know what, like you mentioned in your last interview, you lean in. You lean in now. So because I'm more healthy now, I feel like I'm more confident as well. I want to lean into those challenges, even if I'm afraid.
Yeah.
And then you want to lean in, and that's what moves you forward. So actually doing this raw vegan journey is also leaning into it like this, because everywhere people gonna judge you that you're eating this food. First your family not judging, you think they're judging, but they're actually not really. Sometimes they don't even care, but you view it as judgment, like what are they? But it's your own reflection because everything is a mirror.
Yeah.
So I think that my self-love towards myself increased like 100-fold, and I feel so much more amazing, and raw food actually kick-started me, into this journey as well, to be more confident.
Do you feel like as well, I have much more love for others, because when you're going through so much hardship, you see the suffering, the amount of people that come to me now and share how sabotaging they are to themselves and they're destructive with these patterns, because I talk a lot about these patterns and beliefs that we have that really are the root cause of all of our suffering, that we've just not met. We've just not met our needs, and we've got a lot of wounds. And the first thing is the raw food, that, like you say, it takes the band-aid off that we've been masking for such a long time, and it exposes, it brings to the surface. Now we're doing the real work. We're gonna do the work, and it's not easy. It's shadow work, and that's what I really talk more about with my coaching, is the shadow work. But it's much more in a way of loving and compassion. It's come to you for a reason. If those that are watching this, there's resonance there. There's a reason you're here and you're on this path and on this journey, depending on where you're at. You're on it. You're already on. So it's exciting to actually uncover these unmet needs. So that's where you're going to find that true bliss and peace and happiness. We don't even have to fix a lot of it. Once you've had the acknowledgement, it just surfaces and leaves. I found that a lot of time, like a lot of the punishing behaviors, once I'm aware of it, I'm like, oh, I've been doing that. Acknowledge it, and it just dissipates. It's like, okay, but I love you anyways. It's okay. Like, for me, mine was my anger. I used to get angry at people. I realize it's not them, it's the behavior, but I'm okay. I'm allowed to be angry. I went into that law of attraction positivity, and I know sometimes that can not always serve us, because we're repressing, we're doing the same thing what we're doing with food. But this time I was more conscious of it. I could bring it up and be like, I'm allowed to be angry. I'm allowed to be okay to be angry. And then all of a sudden, once that was acknowledged, it left, and I was able then, I started to transmute it in much more loving, compassionate ways, rather than constantly resurfing. If a pattern keeps coming up, there's a reason. And instead of shoving it down with these toxic, numbing, sedating foods, we can listen. We can finally listen to our unmet needs that we've just put under the rug for so many years. And there's a lot for some people to unpack, but it's part, this is the journey of unpacking it in the divine timing and enjoying this discovery. I'm going off on that one.
No, I totally, I just wanted to add one more thing to it. What you said, it's amazing. I totally agree. It highly resonates with me. And what I found, a lot of people don't talk about this as raw vegans, but my body talks to me now. I don't know. I know it sounds weird, but I have to say that it's crazy. Like, since it tells me, like, I remember the one time, it was in May. So it was about in my 6 months journey. I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna have like a gin with something, you know, like I just decided I'm just gonna have one drink, you know, just to try. I tell you, my body was so upset. I could physically feel the upsetness of my body. And it sometimes talks to me as well, like it says something, obviously through my higher mind, not in the actual audible word. And it was so upset with me for days. I was feeling so sick, and that was the last time I had any alcohol.
We have to do these as well. It's a reinforcement. Sometimes minds tell you're getting these down. People are like, we'll learn the hard way.
Yes. Does your body also talks to you? Like you can physically feel it?
You know, when I get sadness now, because it comes in and it's been heavy recently, so I used to associate it with my old, because sometimes you've got these residues still in the body that's coming up, and it's away, and now I'm realizing, no, you're telling me something's off, something you aren't sharing your truth, and I sit with it. This time I sit with it and not go and get food, not go and eat, not even eating the fruit. I just sit with it. So I'm very conscious now, and my body is telling me all the time, like, hands down, I couldn't even put poison in my body anymore. Like the alcohol is like no go. That will, you know what? The more you're on this path, how much, not just the mental aspects to it, the guilt that you feel, but it's the physical. Like I get sick. You know, even some cooked food that I have, like mine was potatoes as well. I loved potatoes. I was eating raw until dinner. That was my go-to, potatoes, everything. And that was there was a lot of sadness to giving that up, because that was my identity. So I've worked a lot on the shifting of beliefs and mindset, you know, the identity work. That's been a big transformation for me. And with the raw foods, because it's giving you the clarity, the answers. It's so much easier. Like you say, you're listening to your body is talking to you. It's interesting, not many do talk about that. They say it in other ways, but like the higher self, but your body physically is saying, like, it has this aversion, and so that it's listen to that and tune with it more. It's like, I know when I need to not go somewhere. Now I'm going to just hold off a little. Maybe because there could be an accident, or maybe there's a reason. So I'm really tapping into more of that. Everything's happening for me, not to me. And I really embody that now. Before I was like resisting. Why? You know, why are you doing it to me? Why have I got these sabotaging patterns? Now it's with love now. It's with, like, I'm listening. Okay, you've got the answers. It's more than just here. Like I said, we get these channeling. Like, it opens up the raw foods, opens up the channels, and everything's clear, and it's much easier. Like I say, we don't have to do the length. We can if you want, the longer lengths of meditation, but we're always in meditation when you're on this lifestyle, because we're not numbing anymore. We're not saying the foods. So you're at now, the place you're at is what's your diet? What you eating day to day on average? What's that look like?
Like this morning, I had a juice. I also like carrots, apples, and ginger, and I had that this morning because carrots, for some reason, it's so good for my skin. For all your clients that has eczema, they must actually try it, because that really I don't know why it does that. I think there's something in the carrots as well. But I just do it because it's very cheap. Yeah, carrots are very cheap. So I can buy like a huge packet of carrots and I can juice that like a couple of times, and then I would make like a liter juice. If I can, I even if I can just make half a liter juice and I don't have enough ingredients, I still make a juice. Like with celery, apples and ginger. I like to put ginger in practically all my juices because ginger is also something that really works for me. I love it. Quite a big piece, I worked myself up to quite a big piece now. I think normal people can't drink so much ginger.
I've definitely built that tolerance up, as in it's got, I love it. I love it
Yes.
now.
And then what I would do is I had a big bowl of watermelon afterwards. And then when I woke up, I was quite hungry. So I'm not sure. I tried to go with the flow. I'm not very strict with myself. So I had a banana when I woke up because I was quite hungry. I wanted to just walk around the dam. And then I had the juice. But usually I wouldn't have anything before the juice except water, like, filtered water. I try not to drink tap water at all because the chlorine, I can't take the chlorine since I'm a raw vegan. I get so put off even I smell it from about like half a meter away in the glass. It's just really bad because that's another thing. My smell became like tenfold. Like I can smell gas from like or anything. Like other people can't smell it. I'm like, can't you guys smell it? Smell this, something going on. Or
everything's heightened, isn't it? All your senses.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I agree with that. Just the smells and it's super strong. Like even like oils, cooked oils or burning animals. Like for me, it repulses me. And that's another thing I'm in tune with. Like it's like it brings. That's why my sadness. So that's another bringing back to the sadness. When sadness floods me, It's not the pain from me. It's not my feelings of because I used to question, is it my self-worth or no? I'm feeling the energy. We become more empathic and we feel it. And I've been feeling it a lot recently, but I've just realized there's not just round the corner, there's a pig farm and I'm sensing that. We're very sensitive.
Maybe you sense the collective energy of those pigs that are on the pig farm and mistreated. Sometimes you do get those that like you have that connection to certain things. Like I can easily connect to nature. I don't know, for me, like even connecting to trees or animals, I connect easily. So I think that's the easiest to connect. And the one thing that I just want to mention before I tell you what I eat in a day is that the social aspect of it for me, that's hugely changed because I had to shift in my mind. Because previously, every time you meet with your friends or family, it's all about food. We have a barbecue or we do this. And then I would just like sit there. I'm the one. I felt out. I felt like they didn't mind that I'm eating my own thing, but I felt like, you all used to connect with food always. And now, in my raw vegan journey, I learned how to connect with people on a different level. So I actually make an effort now to connect about their life, talk to them properly, and not just talking about nonsense or, or it's not about the food connection. So you have to learn it. It's almost like a new skill you have to learn to be able to, yes.
Yeah, no gossiping, no drama.
I
can't
stand it.
Yeah.
Yes, and I just quickly wanted to mention, so what I had yesterday, for example, for lunch, I had a big salad, so I would make a salad. I don't make a huge salad because even after more than a year, I still struggle to eat these very big salads. I would still make a big salad, but not what fully raw Christina eats, those huge salads. And I'm like, there's no way I could eat that in one go. So what I do is I eat more times. I don't restrict myself about that. So when I'm hungry, I eat. So I would have like a medium-sized salad and then eat as much as I can. Then I'm full, then I stop. That would, because it's got I would put avocado in it and maybe a nutty dressing. That would last me a couple of hours, but then I start getting a bit hungry. Then I would have more fruit. And maybe an ice cream, make that frozen banana mixed with some frozen pineapple or blueberries, or, with a bit of lemon juice, and I would blend that, have that. I like that as my treat of the day. I always have an ice cream. So I have to have that, is because, you have to also give yourself a treat. That's always, when my family is eating ice cream, then I take out my ice cream, then I would eat that. I would always have something, like, because my family would eat something else, like a treat, then I would make my, like, when they have sweets, I would take out some dates to eat, so I find a way to also treat myself and not feel like I'm not getting any treats. Then I would still make I always make an extra small salad and put it in the fridge. And on the evening, sometimes I still crave a bit of salad, so I would still eat a little bit of salad, because sometimes when I eat fruit, I can't eat enough fruit. Like, I can't consume sometimes 8 mangoes, and I feel like after 2 hours I'm hungry. Like, I would have maybe 3 mangoes that I could consume at once, and then I would have a little bit of salad, and then but I still eat a lot of fruit. Like, my main calorie still comes from fruit. It's just because the greens ground me as well a bit, and also it makes me full for longer. That's why I still
I love the greens. Yeah, I still
mm.
the juices. The lemon ginger blast is generally a daily occurrence for me, and I enjoy. Yeah. So moving forward, then you feel this is your lifestyle. You feel this is the way you will continue at this moment in time where you're at. You will continue.
Yes, of course. I know that some people only do this lifestyle just to cleanse, and they don't have serious health problems, and like some of your clients. But for me, this is a lifestyle I want to stick to, because I feel so good and I don't want this illness back again. So I know that I'm healed and I feel amazing inside. My mind is sharp. I just have a totally different understanding of life, how I see it, and my energy is so much more higher. And why would I compromise that by going back to eating cooked food? I mean, eating meat, I don't think I would ever eat meat again, because that's just something, it puts me off. Oh, sorry. I don't know what's going on with internet. I just stopped sharing my video. Are you back?
Okay. Yeah, you're back. You're back. Yeah.
Sorry, I'll switch on my
There we
camera.
go.
Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I think the internet is a little bit unstable. We do have fiber, but sometimes I think people are working from home, after COVID. And I think there's too many people on the fiber lines here.
No, we only missed a little bit. So yeah,
Yes.
continue. It's okay now.
What was I talking about? Oh, the lifestyle. I would, the one thing I don't think I would ever eat meat again. That would just totally put me off. I just can't stand the smell of meat. I have to still make it for my family every day, but I don't taste it. I always get my daughter to taste it, or I more or less know what spices to put in. I do it because, I still have my own things that I have to do for the family. So I still have to do it. But I don't think I would ever eat meat again, But also the cooked food, I feel so good. Why would I compromise that? I think what happened to me when I started feeling really good, I once or twice I had cooked food like chips, or I had the vegetarian sushi with the rice. Oh my word, I felt so bad afterwards. I felt so sick. From the chips, I was sick.
Yeah.
And then the sushi, I immediately, as soon as I ate it, I felt like my energy dropped from here to there. And I'm glad I tested these things. I don't eat, I mean, I tested these things, like I can count on one hand, how many times I ate some things here and there. But I mean, why would I compromise feeling so good and feeling amazing? And another thing is, I my genes are quite good. I don't have a lot of wrinkles, but since I'm high raw, not high raw, fully raw, I practically all those wrinkles are also gone that I had. Or I still got a little bit of gray hair because I can't dye my hair now because I don't want to put that chemical on myself. But I'm still waiting. I'm hoping that my gray hair will also go away a little bit. I got a couple of gray hairs. But I'm hoping that will also go.
Hear people, yeah, with the hair.
Yeah. So I'm really, I cannot imagine going back to that lifestyle where that food makes me feel like, after that Sunday lunch, how you just want to sleep for 3 hours. That was one of the things that happened to me. But yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I just switched off the camera. Can you hear me? Hi, Toni. Sorry.
I think it's my internet this time. It's cut out, but
Is it?
we're back on. Well, in
Okay.
closing then, Judith,
Yes.
can you share any tips that will help, that's really helped you and will help others on this journey going, towards raw foods?
Yes, I think the number one thing is that first you have to go vegan. Like if you've been eating meat, just go vegan immediately. Because I don't know, I believe in more the gradual process. It depends on someone that that wants to immediately dive in. Some people are like that. They would like to immediately just cut everything off. I would just say first go vegan. Just cut out all the animal products and meat. You can still eat some other vegan food, cooked food, but just start by going vegan totally, because that is also a mindset shift. You have to actually get used to the idea that almost like you're going to judge yourself when you go out in the restaurant and you're going to order vegan food. So it's more of a psychological shift as well for me. I think it's not just your body can't handle it. So I think it's definitely first step is just to go vegan immediately, and then that will also put you in a bit of a detox, and then once you've been vegan a couple of months, then go like maybe high raw or fully raw, and I think that it also depends on how badly you want it. Do you really want it or not to be healthy, your life to change? If you have the why, if you have that why, you will change and you will do it. You can do anything as a person. You just have to have that determination. I think people that are always have excuses, then they don't really want to do it, or they have too many negative belief systems stopping them, But you can do it.
Yeah, we can change it. Anything is possible. Like looking at others that have overcome, I know there's a lot of people that's in the colder climates that are saying it's so hard. That was my belief. It's so hard. I actually moved. I moved. That was my way of dealing with that. So there is ways, but also we're seeing others that are making it work if you want it. But yeah, not everything's connected straight away. But if you're on this path, I believe the more you're on it, the more you're more in tune and have this mindfulness in your daily practice, then it's inevitable. So yeah, thank you so much, Judith. I really appreciate you coming on today and sharing. Are you there? We got
yeah
I'm
just listening to you. No, I'm listening. Thank you so much.
Paused.
I really appreciate I really appreciate.
I think the internet is telling us, come on, we're finished. It's paused on your beautiful face though, so
yeah, I think I can hear you. Can you hear me? I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're back.
It could be mine, but I think it's the universe is telling us, let's close it. So thank you so much, Judith, for coming on. I really appreciate you. So beautiful. And I love that these connections, these conversations we have. Oh, it fills my soul. It's soul food, you know, like the raw foods, these connections, these depth, these talks that we have, that we share is just, oh, it fills me up so much. It really amplifies my day. So thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It was amazing to talk to you. And I love also this conversations. That's like my passion
It
as
is,
well.
yeah. Same. So we always end with the be, feel, and stay Rawlicious. Are you going to say it with me together after three?
Stay Rawlicious.
We say be, feel, stay Rawlicious. We'll do it together. So after three,
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Be,
Be free,
feel,
feel,
stay
stay,
Rawlicious.
Rawlicious. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just stop the recording and then
Okay.
what's happening? Oh, my internet's playing up again, isn't it? I think it's my
Is
internet.
it? Is it?
It's not
There's no.
allowing me. It's okay. I'll wait until it rectifies. Are you still there? I think
Yes, yes.
you're
I'm
breaking up.
still there. I'm